Hey Facebook family, it's Emanuel, your certified emotion code, body code practitioner. And so I'm grateful today to be able to share a little bit about my financial journey. Kind of not the most exciting thing, just kidding, it is exciting because I think we can all relate to kind of where I came from, and maybe you may relate in some other ways. There's two types of people that watch this video. And number one is maybe you're someone who is doing very, very well financially, but maybe it's hard for you to keep it. Or maybe you're very, very successful, but then you've set a certain financial set point, and then now you can't go to the next level. Maybe you haven't dropped that extra zero on your check yet, but you've tried so hard, you've done every single formula, you've got all the marketing things in place, but for some reason you can't get that extra zero or that extra comma in there. So whatever it is, whether you've been struggling or you're already very successful, but you've actually got stuck in a set point, this may relate to you. And so the thing is that ignorance is bliss is really not true. And I always used to think in my mind that if I read enough books, how many of you have you ever heard this, where if you read enough books, go to enough seminars, finances will show up. Or if you use the law of attraction, things will start showing up. But the problem is that, again, a large percentage of people who use the law of attraction or who use goals and everything like that, the majority of them still have problems getting something or to be able to receive something. And I've always kind of been curious. I'm like, for example, so if let's say you work from home, let's say you do direct sales, just kind of throw it out there. You meet like 10 different people, they're all doing the same exact thing, but only 2 of them do very well. Was it because of the people that they went to? Like what's good? It makes no sense to me. Or is there something else really going on energetically on a quantum level field that we're not aware of? And that if we were able to dissect that person and be like, where did this come from? It'll make perfect sense. And so the first thing is this, is that inherited trauma is a real thing. So if you ever heard of the term epigenetics, there might be things that are coming down into your body that are trying to forewarn you about wealth. For example, you might have a great-great-great-grandfather who lost their farm or who lost their business. And that energy, that trauma goes down all the way down to you. Whenever you start your business or you start your farm or whatever you're doing, you're constantly triggering this energy in you. And it sabotages you. It doesn't allow you to be less reactive. If you're an entrepreneur, you can't be reactive. But so most sabotage comes from somebody who's overreactive. Okay, I'll say that again. Most sabotage comes from someone who is overly reactive. They're feeling way too many emotions too strongly, and it doesn't allow them to move forward because they're scared. Their body is actually fearful of something that may or may not happen. And so that's usually inherited trauma that's coming. And you can find that through muscle testing, and you can use a magnet to release it, and you can do it on yourself. But I usually work with people long distance to help that area out. So that's number one. Number two is there could be a mode issue. Okay, a mode issue means that our body is in 3 different types of modes here. There's abundance mode, stagnant mode, lack mode, and everyone's kind of in the percentage of 100%. Everyone's kind of different. Abundance mode could be 40%, lack mode could be 60, and it kind of tells you if you're in lack mode 60%, that means that if you've ever noticed things may happen in your life where all of a sudden money gets taken away from you, you're like, where did it go? I had it. Something always comes up that it gets taken away from me. That's a lack mode issue. Stagnant mode means you kind of feel stuck, like something always happens and you feel stuck and can't move forward. Abundance mode is obviously it's just rolling in, and so everyone's divided in those 3 parts. I meet clients all over the world. No one's 100% abundant mode. There's always something going on with their lack or their stagnant. As soon as I find those percentages, it's really interesting. They actually go, I actually, if I could describe my situation, it's stuck. Some people say, no, if I were to describe my theme situation, it's I do make a lot of money, but everything gets taken away from me. You see, and that would be showing up in the modes. So you can move those by releasing certain body code energies, and then actually make it so he or she is 100% abundant mode. Then all of a sudden attraction's there, nothing's trying to take stuff away from you, and you don't feel that stuck effect. That's called the abundance mode. Unfortunately, there could be curses involved in that. People have cursed you to progress, to grow, for abundance, not having success. I mean, how many ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends do you have that didn't wish you well afterwards? Or how many corporate executives or bosses maybe didn't want you to succeed? But there's other things too. There's other types of programming. So for example, depending how you grew up and how you saw your parents, you could create new belief systems. So one of my favorite books to read is The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. So shout out to T. Harv Eker. It's a really great book because it's very, very simple in regards to principles of money. And he calls it wealth principles. There's like wealth files and poverty files. So when I read that book, guess what? I agreed more with poverty files than I did with wealth files. But the problem is that it's not enough to learn consciously about these files. It's to train your subconscious that I actually believe in that. So if you finish a book and nothing has changed in your life, if you finish a seminar, nothing's changed in your life, it's because consciously you're like, okay, I know that now. I'm now thinking more like a rich person, but your subconscious is like, yeah, but I don't think like a rich person, or I don't feel that I truly believe this. So you have to go into the subconscious. You can check percentages of how much you believe in something. And from, let's say, maybe you're like, money comes easily and frequently to me. See, that sounds good. And I can affirm it all the time. And I can have, boards of it everywhere, like vision boards. But if my body's like, I only believe that 19.247%, and I go in there and use the body code, I'll find out why it's 19.24% and get it to 100%. All of a sudden now you start attracting things because your subconscious and your conscious brain both believe it. That fragment, that kind of off balance of each one of them believing, one of them doesn't, that's what causes people to feel stuck. They can't move. So that's the missing element in the Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, right? So I wish you would have mentioned that you have to get to a certain frequency that it attracts a certain frequency to you. That's missing in the book, So another thing is, besides false beliefs, besides inherited things, you can also have these things called broadcast messages. So we all have that kid, that unfortunate bully who put, kick me on your shirt. That's a real thing. You could actually have that on your shirt, which just says, deny me or leave me alone. For example, let's say your parents were somewhat abusive, and you always told them, leave me alone, get out of here, Now you have a shirt that says, leave me alone, and I can find out which one you have. There's a whole chart on it, like how to find one. Then there's some trauma even below it that I need to remove energetically. And then we have to change it, and that's called the belief code. Just very quickly, so it's called T3 therapy or belief code. You can flip it so it says now, I attract high frequency friends, instead of leave me alone, or whatever you want to put in there, whatever your subconscious wants to place in. I can muscle test it. And it's really interesting. Now, all of a sudden, when you do that, people are treating you differently. Clients are treating you differently. Your boss is treating you differently. You get the raise all of a sudden. It's because you're not putting off that message out there. That's also affecting your abundance. See, I didn't know that. See, for 10 years, I used to work from home, had no success to show for it. Nothing. Like I was the guy in the way back seat, and I was just kind of like taking notes with a JCPenney suit, and like nothing was ever working for me. I was actually even doing all the right actions. They said, okay, do that, do that, do that. Okay, cool, I'm gonna go out there and do that. And I started doing it, guess what? 0 results. Nothing. It's almost like I had like a bad cologne on, like nothing was working. And then I realized, I'm like, whoa, what have I inherited from my parents? What belief systems did I create because of their finances? And what programmed my subconscious for it to start sabotaging my situation? No one taught me that in high school. No one taught me that in college. The junior college that I had, no one taught you that. That's like, hey, there's an inner universe in you that's being programmed. And if you don't reprogram it, then you'll keep getting the results no matter how you enhance your conscious tools. That's kind of scary to think about it. So you probably have friends and family that they don't know why they can't move forward, and everything looks great. They smell great, they look great, they know their stuff, they say the right things, but still nothing moves. It's probably because of subconscious is sabotaging them. And then also a final thing that could happen is kind of like, what financial traumas you received in your life. For example, you can say, how much peace do I have with this financial trauma? I just worked with a lady who inherited a lot of income and then lost it all. So then, that actually, when I was working on her, it blocked her from receiving money. She has now an allergy to receiving money, which means that anytime she's not receiving money, her body gets irritated. It goes into allergy mode. And her body's not going to want to receive money then. Her body's going to say, no, don't do that. You don't want to get stressed out by receiving money. But that actually came as a translation from the inherited money that she lost. So it's not about inherited money anymore. It's now about I just want to receive money, but that trauma that she received from her inheritance has now bled into her business, where she feels allergic to receiving money. So you see how it's like everything kind of changes in subconscious translation to now it's affecting and bleeding to now your potential income. And so it's really interesting how financial traumas in your past, if you don't have peace with it, you're lugging it around like skeletons on your back, and you're so busy holding on to these things in your back, you have no hands to receive the wealth. And so again, I just wanted to kind of share, a few little concepts of what are things that may be holding you back. Again, I work with two types of people. Number one, somebody who's really stuck, has never had financial success, and then all of a sudden everything starts happening. Or the person who's like, oh, look, I'm already a millionaire, but why am I not a billionaire yet? I work with those people too, because again, you might have a financial set point where all of a sudden your body gets blocked, and there's certain things you need to remove: heart walls, broadcast messages, curses, because you've gone this very amazing road of having success, but through that road, there's trauma with money now. No matter, even if you made success, you're still going to have trauma in getting there. And that trauma is now holding you back, so you can't go to the next level unless you unload. And so hopefully this inspires you to look into yourself more. Again, go to your body code practitioner if you have one, tell them about these concepts, or maybe you want to work with me. But the exciting thing is today for Compass Healing, we're actually launching the Abundance Guide. And so Discover Healing, if you really want to, if this is your year where you're like, I want to remove all these blocks, like anything he's talking about right now, can you just get rid of them? There is a thing called an Abundance Guide, if you want to write this down. And it's like a 10 to 13 page PDF. And whether Jess or myself, we interview you and we have to ask all these questions. Half of them is like conscious questions: what happens with your past, a family history, finance, net worth, finances. It's like we're going through all these different things, goals that you have financially, and then we have to like write them all on a piece of paper. And then afterwards, we do healing on it. So we go, what needs to be worked on? Page 6, page 8, page 10. And your body is telling us where we need to go to make you go financially thrive. So officially today is the launch where we are now providing the Abundance Guide that was created by Discover Healing, Dr. Brad and his team. And we're excited that we get to implement that to people who are part of our practice. So now it's going to be an interview, again, with my wife or myself. It's like a good like an hour and a half interview. And then I'm going to do an email session on you. And then from then on, you can work with me personally to help out your finances. So anyway, again, hopefully you gained some value from this. Again, I wanted to make that announcement live on this video thing here. And that way you guys know another service that we now provide at the Compass Healing Center here. So again, if you are dealing with financial issues, or you want to take it to the next level, just know that it should be good news to you that it could be something in your body that's holding you back. How exciting is that? For me, I love the fact that it's like, okay, I thought there was something wrong with me. There is. It's just removing these emotional energies, but that's not really who you are. Once you uncover this stuff, your light will shine brighter and abundance will come to you, which is something that you deserve. So again, comment below which one is your favorite thing you heard on here. I may even do a random healing on someone. If you tag 2 people down there, I may do a random healing on you and remove some abundance blocks, just so you can see kind of what it feels like and what it does for you. So with that, love you guys and take care. Bye-bye.